Hi, welcome to Shell's Homestead. I have a bunch of Swiss chard. I'm getting ready to harvest. It's gone a little wild. I'm going to harvest this and show you how I preserve it. Okay, so I just cut off the big outer leaves and left the little ones to keep growing, and we're going to cover it back up with a net. Let's go back. Here's all the chard we got. Quite a bit. So we'll take it inside and show you how to do it. Okay, so I got the Swiss chard all washed up, cleaned up, all the dirt off of it. I'm gonna dehydrate half of it and freeze half of it. So I'll just split it up. Look at the pretty colors of the stems. The stems kind of feel like celery if you've never messed with Swiss chard before. But this is a green and you can use it really anywhere that you would use spinach. So first thing I'm going to do is dehydrate. I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to take these first and just cut the stem off and sort it into leaves and stems. As I'm doing this, I'm going to visually check them to make sure there's no bugs or anything that's really bad. Some of the leaves get eaten by bugs like this, but it's perfectly fine as long as they're clean. So I'll do this to all of them. Okay, so I've got the stems and the leaves separated. Put all these stems together. And then I'm just going to chop this into little segments. Just like this. Just like that. Now these, like I said, they're like celery. That's what they feel like. So it's good if you put it in soup and they're going to cook for a little while, or just like you would add celery. Or you can put them in like a quiche or a frittata egg in your eggs. So after they're dehydrated, you just want to reconstitute them in water, and then you can put them in any egg dishes like that. So take a tray, dehydrator tray, and I line mine with these silicone mesh. Just put it on there in an even single layer so it can dry well. You don't want it really overlapping. So that's all it takes for the stems. Just break apart any pieces like that that didn't get cut well. And then for the leaves, you can see some of them have a little bit of stem left in them, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt anything. So I like to keep the leaves and the stems separate because they can be used differently. So if I was making a pasta dish that you would put like spinach in, creamy spinach pasta, anything like that, I would use the leaves instead of the stems. So I'm just taking these and piling it on each other. Nice and laid out. Like this. And then I'm gonna get big chunks of it, because when it cooks down, it won't be very big. So about like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. You have to measure it, just approximate. It comes out like that. And then we're gonna lay these out on the screens. This is gonna take more screens than the stems. You don't want them to be too layered or they won't dry well. Okay, so I have all these trays full of the chard. We're gonna go put them in the dehydrator. And I'm gonna put them on 100 degrees and run them for probably 3 days. So here it is in the dehydrator. We're gonna turn it on. So it goes for 24 hours and 100 degrees. So I have to come return it on when it gets down. And I'm gonna run it for 3 days. So now I'm gonna freeze the rest of this pile. I'm just gonna start out kind of the same way. I'm gonna separate the stems and leaves. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these stems in segments like I did earlier. And when I put them on this sheet, this is a cookie sheet lined with parchment, spread them out. If they're touching too much, they'll freeze together. We don't want that, so I gotta get another piece of parchment. I'll put another piece of parchment on there. Just keep going. Spread these out. And we'll put another piece of parchment down and we'll do the leaves. Okay, so for the leaves, I do these a little bit thinner strips than I do when I'm dehydrating. I prefer it that way. So I'm doing it about this wide. Maybe an inch or two. Now when I put this on my parchment, I kind of get too close. I kind of get a handful and make them into a ball and put it on there, so that when it freezes, it's easier to get out in portions. So they're gonna unroll a little bit, but just as long as you do that, it kind of helps. And another piece of parchment. done them. Biscuit. Okay, so on the last layer, cover the last layer with parchment as well. This helps it in the freezer. Let's stick this over there. Okay, so I just set this whole tray down in the freezer like this, and then I'm going to leave it for a couple of days until it's completely frozen. Once it's completely frozen, I'm going to bag it up. This is some that I did before. And it's just really easy to just pull it out like that and throw it into a vat of soup. That's how it comes out. So there you go. I'll show you in a few days. So this stuff has been in the dehydrator now for 3 days. And I don't know if I said it before, but it was at 100 degrees. Let's see how it is. And then the stems over here. And they're crunchy. So I'm going to pack all this up. And I like to do it separately because I use them in different things. The leaves can go in soup real easy. And the stems in like omelets or anything like that, so I like to keep them separate. So I've got my jar. Try to get all of these in here. It doesn't go through the hole very well. Get in there. Don't get my angry face. Okay, and all these little stems, I'm going to try to get into the little jar. Hopefully they'll all go in the little one. These little silicone mats I bought on Amazon. It was a big roll and I cut it to size. It's really helpful though. Dumping something like this. I might get one in there. Okay. And then I'll have to finish packing all those leaves, but I'll show you on this one. Then I take a lid and I vacuum seal it with this. I got this vacuum sealer on Amazon. It's just a manual, but it works really well. Pulls all the air out. And this makes your stuff stay fresher longer. So I will finish trying to get these leaves in this jar and pack it up. But there you go. That's what it's like. Easy to use. Keeps for a long time. So, thanks. Okay, so I got these packed up finally, very carefully. And then I have this Expo wet erase marker that I got on Amazon, and that's what I use to write whatever it is that I'm doing on the lid. So when I'm done, I can just wash it off when it's empty. So then I'm going to put these silicone mats in the dishwasher and put these on the shelf and it's done. So there's what it looks like when it's done. Here it is on the shelf, my other stuff. Hope you guys try it.